Let's go. All right. So, yeah, whatever with the controller. So I built like this vault thing. I did have like a few issues. The game is pretty simple by itself. Thing is, you have to ask yourself if you want to rush things or just take it slow, right? Because there's only one playthrough, and after that, there's not much point to keep going once you're pretty much maxed out everything, right? Uh, the idea here is if you go very fast, you have to be like kind of passive playing. So like you say you build like a power plant, it takes like 30 minutes. You throw like one guy in there because you're short and everything. You throw one guy in there and you log in after those 30 minutes to collect energy. It's ultra short. You have many power plants, there's not just one. So that way you can keep up with the cost of energy of your base in that short amount of time by having maximum expansion also. So because when your game is active, it's consuming those resources, right? So that's why you want to have as little bit of time inside the game so you don't have those events being triggered, you don't have resource consumption. So you want to avoid those things and be as tactical as possible. uh, the other thing is, from the beginning of the game, you can take your beginner survivors and straight out send them in the wasteland, and they will come back with to you geared if you're watching like regularly, like every 30 minutes or an hour, to see like if they're not dying yet. uh they're usually gonna come back with a gun or some gear. You don't have to go out of your way to find that shit. Just, and they're not, you don't need to feed them when you're doing that. And you can have like a whole crew of people that are geared from the beginning. So let's go in there. It's probably going to be a mess. I got to collect all that. Not bad. I think it's like you don't have to feel forced to well, I might not do that. You don't have to feel forced to craft anything. Like if you have your people going out there, they will they will find those where is that guy? I can't see him. He's so sneaky. I got him. All right. So your people, when they're out there, you don't have to go like out of your way to craft rare things. They will find rare things by themselves. You know what I mean? So also like when you come back, if you're like low on something, all you gotta do is like rush a room that they just collected. The rush kind of like the percentage of success helps with luck, I believe, and also like if someone likes their job a lot. There are people that love their job apparently, and it helps with things. Why are you running away? You're like one of my strongest people in here. God damn. All right. Anyways, also like when you have pregnant people, they run away, so just be mindful of that if you're rushing a room, you know. Your people out there in the wastelands, they will not be able to like find missions, like side missions, if you haven't built that, from what I understood. So until you do that and do like the first mission, I don't think you can get anything from them being out there. So it could be a way to trick it a little bit, because like when you're using those missions, you're using more stim packs more often than not as a beginner, and stim packs are essential for them to keep exploring the wasteland. And as long as they're exploring, they're getting things. And if they have high luck, that's why like she's got this. Luck seems to be the most valuable thing out there. Like when they're exploring, they get a lot of shit. So here I could enter that and show you what it looks like. But look at her. She's like level 50. She's one of my beginners, I think. She's out there. She's been there 9 hours. 22, 24, 900. She's got like some rare stuff. It's not too bad, right? I mean, she keeps going. Like she was sent 9 hours ago, and she still has that, and the maximum is 25. So she used three of them, and I don't have to care about her. Like she doesn't require food right now. She doesn't require anything, and she's very low stats. Like all of them are very low stat people. Like look, she's got all of these things. Okay, I didn't do anything. I just make sure you stuck up and like try to space them out a little bit. I see 12 hours. So this one is 9 hours. Space them out so like when they come back, they will bring back some, and you want to be able to recover like a little bit from that. Not all at the same time, right? Don't accept them at the same time. Otherwise they will bring those back, and you have a limit on how many you can hold inside your base. So you have to be careful about that. So you got more stuff here. The shovels are pretty cool for crafting if you want to be crafting. They have this one here. She's kind of on the newer side. She has like a shit armor, but look, she still gets some stuff, right? But it's been 12 hours and she's still going. It's not like, she's level 30 at least. Not too bad. The other thing is like sometimes you get mole rats, and see here at 21%. But if you check around the luck value, look this, luck. Nobody's lucky. So some people are like under the impression that luck is a factor, but it's not. Like I have like this person here that's maxed out in strength, and she just said something like it zoomed into there with a screen and said, I really love my job, blah, 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 and all that shit. And I think that helps also with when you're rushing. So again, that could be just speculation, but yeah, if your people somehow magically love their job because you assign them to the right place with the right stats, then it could help you in return later. I'll do have like some people wandering around in the base, right? So I just check here. I have 3623. This is good. So I can take this girl here. Like I know they have like the same dresses, right? So easy. All right, I take this. Boom, get the fuck out of here and explore. The hardest thing to come by usually is this, because it produces like, you don't produce a lot of it in the beginning. You tend to produce more of this. It's not bad, but you do need a certain amount of these as well. Like the rat poisoning does happen, especially if you like meet like the ghouls and other radiated thingies. These guys, they cramp up like the level of happiness in your vault, so it's when you can go crazy and do like very, very depressing things for them, like keep rushing and failing a room kind of stuff. You can definitely do that during those times. Another thing is like you want to make sure like you leave at least one person in each room so it's functional while you're offline. That is very, very important, right? So here we're gonna rush it. It's 58 minutes. We'll have nothing to lose. It failed. It's fine. Mole rat attack. I mean, I do have a quest for that. Gonna take her. She's probably like a level 50. She's gonna show up there and people will die just from looking at her. Also, the other thing is like when you have a threat in a room, from my experience, it cannot expand. So the threat will remain contained in that area as long as there's a person engaged with the threat, whether it's fire, rat roaches, mole rats. They will not spread out as long as you have someone dealing with it. So that's the most important thing for you, is like to basically get someone in that room and deal with it if it's like an empty room, right? Like a storage area. Another thing is like you may want to connect or not connect some rooms in particular ways. It depends. It's all up to preference. I have like a lot of training rooms here, but the problem is I need to get them the fuck out of the training room so they don't gain experience because they're being trained. I don't want them to start leveling up without maximum endurance first. And the thing about that is you have to flood the room with other people so that they leave, but also you don't want to like make the last person leave the room before, like, you can assign 6 people in this room, right? But the 6 people could still be on their way if you do that. 6 people, and this one will just get the fuck out, and there's going to be no one left actually containing the room, and they'll spread out, and the problem will become bigger and bigger. So you don't want to do that. You always want to have one person engaged with the threat, and when reinforcements arrive, you don't move her out. You just take another person, you move them in there, and then she'll get out. Like as soon as she's like the last, like maxed out, they just go by order. So whoever was there first gonna be replaced. The other thing is you want to move these guys out like when you're in combat or whatever, because they cost like caps to repair, and it's like extra annoying. Right now I'm running out of energy. Like it's kind of tough to be doing this shit and explaining all of that. Let's see. Alright, thankfully I got some energy. Another thing is when you're doing like those mission things, okay, your base is running. So if you're struggling with energy, you have to be very tactical about that stuff. You have to understand that your base is still running, and you will be losing a lot of energy. So if you cannot sustain your energy in your base, it will be like catastrophic when you come back. Like everything's going to be turned off and all that shit. So it could be a problem. You have to keep that in mind. The other thing I realized, like say you want to craft in this game, right? It says 55 dwellers. You can overpopulate your, like if you don't want to have like a huge population, you know, in your base, you can overpopulate your base to the point you unlock whatever it says, and then you send people out there in the wastelands until they die, and you're done. Okay. Oh shit, we have a special mission. Let's do that. I wonder who it is. I don't recognize their names. Oh, so I think it's one of the high level ones. I'm not sure. I mean, she does have a lug dress. Oh, no. But at least she has a good gun. Kill him. Nice. Yeah, she'll be fine. This is a really small one, but there are like some that are huge that are like maybe 15 times the size of this, so you have to be prepared. What the hell? I never seen that gun before. Assault rifle, damn, tell me about it. Anyways, let's finish this. Kill everything. Yeah, that was an easy one. She's like over geared for this. But it's also like her level, right? The only thing is like she doesn't have any high base stats, you know? Like she's not like a superhuman or whatever. That's it, and you're done. Get back out there. So you got all these rare things just from going in a random place, and that happens very often. Perception, the stat helps finding those locations more significantly, but also what helps is luck, so that they can keep getting things so that are more valuable. It makes a big difference. That's why she's loaded with all that shit. Another cool tip is basically you want to like go in this area here, and if there's something you cannot do or it's like a pain in the ass to do, just don't do it and press the X. When it's red, it's free. You can do it once per day, and then it's done for you. It gives you a new quest. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but don't use your Nuka Cola to refresh quests unless like you're rich and you're like spending money in games and you're not playing the game anymore. You're playing your wallet. It's different. But yeah, and also like the pet things. I mean, they're good sometimes. Like sometimes they're shit. I mean, depends if you're lucky. I think like when you first play the game and you make your first vault, they give you like a superhuman and like a super pet and a super gun. But if you make different ones, like you don't get that anymore. Like me, I did not get that. I didn't get like a superhuman. I didn't get like any special gun in the beginning. I just went out there and got my own shit. It was pretty rough, but it was fun actually. To It feels rewarding to make progress. Uh, the other thing, you want to start like certain stuff like early. Like, see, this is a daily quest, but it says level 30. I can't send them out like reliably because I don't have enough stim packs. I cannot send them, but you can have like one crew out depending on how you upgraded your overseer's office. So if you have like level 2, level 3, whatever, you can send out more people and you can keep completing them. Like, see these, I'm like behind on them, like level 10 for 5 plus, but it does give like things that can help you out a lot, especially if you send them like while you're at work or like at school or whatever. And there's a lot of cool shit in there. Like, damn, like this, pretty nice. Formal wear is very good, and they take like decent amount of time. This is legendary pistol, I think, so maybe I should focus on that next. There's a lot of cool one-time rewards basically. The other thing is your people, the only level up while you're playing. Like these guys, they're only gonna be leveling up while you're in the game. So if you're not in the game, you're like offline, your phone's turned off and you're not visibly looking at the game. Well, they're not gaining experience from doing their job. So you have to be mindful of that. The only time they will be gaining experience is when you send them out in the wasteland. They'll be gaining experience nonstop. So you could do that to level some people up. The other thing is like when you level people up, like like your maxed out endurance people, you can send them out and put like endurance gear on them and they gain even more stats each level, right? So you want to be doing probably that until level 50. So you have like maximum endurance. It's the only stat that seems to like benefit from leveling itself. So other stats don't give anything extra, so you don't lose anything. So like later when you're like level 50, you're maxed out, you just switch out to whatever you want. For me, it would be like, I don't want those events to be triggering too often out there, so I would be putting maybe luck, so they just find naturally like more stuff in the wasteland without me having to do those little locations, like the special locations. You can ignore them too, right? But it's whatever. Like there's a ignore or do button. Pets give like crazy benefits, so you have to be mindful. Like they're super strong, like minus 44% crafting time on something that's like 10-hour long to craft. Yeah, it's ridiculous, honestly. I only have like one person in there, and having like slight amount of stat increase in the beginning when you're crafting like garbage gear, it's not worth much. You don't have to flood the room with them. You don't have to like get more people in there just to brush something. Don't do that. Like you have better things to do with your people. And if you have someone that's like excessive, like this person that I had like going around, like this one here, she's level 42. Like she should be out there. I'm just waiting for her like to that have enough stim packs and rataways, right? And then she's back out. And honestly, like because she's one of those people, 14 to 16. I think the Institute rifle is better, but it's it's whatever. Also, you want to have at least like on each level, like people that are really well geared, like more in a central location, right? So like here I should be having more people, but I'm kind of low on everything. Like she has a 7, right? So she should be like top level weapon because she's on her own. And I get this guy out so he doesn't take any damage. I heal her up a little bit. Where are you going? She's so sneaky. Also, if you have like people leveling up anything in a training room, you want to make sure you have like this. It does matter a lot over time, like doing it, like if you have them going over like different several rooms, you know, like for different stats, you want to make sure you have like as high intellect as possible. So some people say endurance is better first, but that's endurance like if you know you're gonna fuck up. So say if there's like a threat that appears here, like instead of here, you know, then if you don't evacuate your room fast enough by flooding it with people that can kill, so like if I don't grab her and put her in here until like I have 6 in there and do it properly, you know, so the threat doesn't spread, so I have to wait until like the reinforcements arrive before I get the last one out. So if I don't do that, then of course they're gonna start leveling up. So that's why people say endurance is better first, but it's not true. The best first is definitely by far intellect, because if you're trying to build like any sort of superhuman, everything takes real time in this game, right? So every single room you're gonna have them go through will cut down the amount of time required tremendously. That's what you have to understand. So it's very important for them to max out the shit out of intellect first, so you can lower the training time for those. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like a bunch of women, so I can just like make a huge population burst and just basically unlock these technologies and build out my base, right? And after I have like these super strong people, I'm gonna use the old ones that are like, I'm gonna slowly scale them up. So like I'm gonna have like people train in strength, you know. I have like a strength room here, and they'll have enough stats to sustain those areas faster and better. I'm gonna do the same in other areas, and then I'll have the superhumans that are just going out there in the wasteland and getting shit done. And I'll have a crew of like 6 of those superhumans that are like permanently in here. In the first room, I took agility first because it was more convenient from early game. So like you can remap your area as long as you destroy everything up to here. So you have to make sure you don't have like babies going on and other pregnant women, and then just get everybody out the vault and just rebuild your base at the beginning, you know. So I did it that way. One thing is you don't want to do this. This is a mistake. You don't want to have like a single tile production room, because you do benefit from having it to a triple sized. That goes for production rooms mostly. It's not gonna affect this. It's not gonna affect that. So I could have built like anything else. I could have built like a double of this and then went down and did the rest, right? So yeah, that's basically how I could have done better. Another thing is you want these to be together, kind of thing, like the things that give stats to the top 3 bars so that your base is sustainable. You want to have those rooms together, so like when you have like a very limited amount of robots, they're actually maintaining it while you're playing the game by collecting these resources, right? It's very important to be doing that. The idea behind that is that you don't want your bot to be collecting this and this. This is not going to help your base remain active, basically. So that's why you don't want to be like wasteful in the way you lay out your base. So like here I did a mistake. I put a cafeteria and I put a science center. The science center should not be here. I could have like a power or like a water facility. Like, I don't know. I could have anything better than this, and then when I put a bot here, it's gonna be used properly. So I would have to like take this, move it down like next to here basically, because it's more useless and whatever. And I probably need to connect this area here. So, because right now the only resource I have for people to like fight off any threat that appears here is like this. It's nothing. They have to like take the elevator and go all the way there. But yeah, I could also like build some things differently. I don't know. Like I did connect this area here, which is gonna help. Have like a lot of people in there. It helps with the timing. The other stuff is like you want to have a lot of inventory space, but like when you get people to come back, you want to make sure that you sell common items if you don't need them. Like there's a button to do that. You just do it, and it keeps like some of the crafting materials that you can use. It keeps the rare stuff, obviously. Honestly, I would not be selling anything in the beginning. If you are desperate for gear, don't sell stuff. You can just salvage for a chance of like getting materials. There are like some materials that are rare in the beginning, and you can. But if you just send out like a whole bunch of people out there, I don't know if there's a limit on how many you can send out there in the wasteland, but it's kind of nuts. I had like a whole line of people there that I just had waiting. So you can get pretty crazy. So here we're gonna see a mission. I don't remember what that is. It's some special mission. Maybe it gives a pet. Damn, this is a huge map. All right, guys. Let's try to survive that. I think like your melee people, usually melee is bad because they need to like be the only person tanking. So like everyone assigns themselves tanking a separate kind of unit when you are engaging in battle. So it often becomes a problem. Like say if right now this one is tanking this, so I take this and I retarget. See, she moved, and if there was another target available, she would reassign herself to another target, which is very problematic. So when you're trying to like maximize the effect of your people, what you're gonna do is basically you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna do that to make sure you take down that same target with all these people faster, and you reduce the overall damage input for your team. You know, it's like they don't get hit so hard, and you're not burning through stim packs like crazy, which is very important because you don't want to be wasteful of resources. You know, it's like unless you have an overabundance because you fucked up somewhere, you should never be having an overabundance of anything, right? If you're actually trying to progress in the game, you're probably all over the place, and your materials are always short, you know, because you're using shit. Another thing, there are like sometimes where there's like a boss monster. I would definitely advise it, like going to kill the boss monster first, right? The reason for that is they sometimes spawn extra monsters or like have a special ability, like some AoE shit. You don't want them triggering those. So you want to make sure your team focuses those down really fast. I know it sucks because sometimes you're getting hit by like other 3 or 4 people at the same time, but I feel like the boss person will often do as much damage to your team as the other people combined. And so it's better to like kill that one faster because it's going to take you more time to kill the other 3 or 4 people than it would to kill that one. And also like have like very easy enemies and your people are breezing through the content. You will sometimes get luck, and luck is a very good stat because it helps obtain those things that you can crit with. It's gonna give like a reticle over them. Like people are not very lucky, so they're just like noobs. They have like no luck stat, you know. It's right here. It's like at the bottom. So these guys are not gonna trigger it a lot, But if you're planning on doing these instance thingies, it's very good, especially for like AoE weapons. Because when you have those crit things trigger, you basically trigger the crit itself as a single hit, and you also follow up with one extra attack. So it's a double tap basically. It's extremely strong. Luck is an extremely strong stat. Yes, with agility you fire faster and all that stuff. Like right now, I'll see if I could waste it, but the next attack is probably going to kill each one of them. There you go. So they killed everything. I could have wasted the luck trigger, had the crit on trash mobs. But next room might be more difficult, and I might be needing that extra damage. So it's very important. Like luck is a very good thing if you love exploring those places. So right now I'm gonna have luck, okay? Doesn't matter where you click it, just click that shit and it's gonna trigger a double attack basically. Boom, extra stuff. I've never done this mission, so I don't know what happens. I'm just trying to rush this. I don't think they can die. They're clearly over leveled for this content, and it's like you check, they're still like more than maxed out on everything here. Another thing is like when you have like people that are radiated, you want to make sure that you cure them from radiation first. What is that? Anyways, things like you can hold off from leveling, and you can use it to heal up a person while on a mission to save stim packs or exploring, you know, and doing like a special location that you found out. So you can save that, and it's like a stim pack in itself. It's not gonna do like a huge damage boost, you know, for your person. It's not gonna matter at all. So you have to make sure that you try to be like tactical with your resources, but that's one of them, you know. So just save that level up, and he's gonna heal to full. And by full, I mean up to where the radiation thing is. If he is radiated, it will not clear that. Oh, maybe a passive way. Ah, shit. So that's a boss. If I had saved the crits here, it would have been nice. Now this is a good thing. This guy's obviously always wanting to tank. But I hear that it's bad to have like 3 melee for some reason. Because like only one of them is going to fight. See like that. We just heal that guy. No stim pack. But another reason why it's bad to have 3 melee is because like of that target reattribution thing that I just showed you earlier, right? So you don't want, honestly, I think melee is very bad. If you're using melee for these type of location clears, because it makes your team less efficient, requires it to retarget and reassign people very, very often to be more effective. But because I think exploration itself and exploring the wasteland is only the only thing that seems to matter is the amount of damage your weapon does. You could definitely use melee for that. And if you know that person is like the one that is being said, hey, I discovered a place, should we go in there? You hit ignore to try and save yourself the trouble. I mean, it's up to you, but on exploration, when you're alone and there's no like, not a team, and it's not too bad if you do it because you're the only person hitting. But like in these instances, it's kind of like meh, you know. It's nothing amazing, but here it looks like we explored the whole thing. I mean, I don't think I missed anything. Just return, right? I got a gold watch. I think it's like a thing for crafting. I haven't gotten a gold watch before. Legendary. The other thing is like the Nuka-Cola stuff. Like they're gonna try, like they will force you to use one of those Nuka-Colas to level up kind of stuff. So I mean, when you're doing your first mission, they will tell you to like straight up use 10 Nuka-Cola bottles, and you'll be thinking, oh, that's the way to do it. Nah, what you do is like you use to boost, like slowly you start with an intellect room whenever, and you start boosting like a person in intellect with Nuka-Cola, and then get them through the other rooms as fast as possible, you know? That's how you should be doing it. I think that's the most value you get out of the Nuka-Cola because it takes real time, and it's like gear is everywhere, dude. You don't need like the best gear to perform. Like say if I have no stim packs, right? And there's only these 4 people, and then I bring in those 2 and they start taking damage. I have no stim packs. They can't heal. So you don't have to let them die. Like you don't have to wait until like they've taken so much damage that they're near death. Like you just say at 33% of their HP, basically, you're just slowly what the fuck? I don't know where he is. All right, so you just let them tank a little bit. Reinforcements arrive, and then the people that were first in the room will be the first ones to start getting replaced. So you take another room, you start bringing in more people, and the ones that are inside the room will slowly get the fuck out, and they're not gonna die. That you'll be using the HP of other people, and you just don't want to be like cycling through too fast, because if you like get too many people out, there's only gonna be like 2 or 3 people in there that are like distributing all the damage onto themselves instead of like 5. So it's more damage on those people. There's more pressure you're putting on those remaining people. So when you're bringing new people for the fight, just go slowly, like go gradually, unless you have someone that you really need to get out of there because you fucked up, right? And they're low on health, like very low. You just manually get them out of the room, and then you put someone else in there. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say. Like hopefully this helped you out a little bit. I mean, I do like this game a lot. It's very passive play kind of thing, you know. It's just go in here, you check, you're like, oh, you got this, you know. And honestly, I don't know if I said that, but like at the beginning, you just like take a person, and even if they have like they're level 1, right, when you're starting the game, they have nothing on them, you just send them out there and they'll come back almost fully geared. You just have to make sure they don't die. That's it. So I didn't know like I could do that, but you can. I did learn that when I was sending them out to die, basically, so I could reduce the population, because like every time you reach a certain degree of population inside your base, you trigger different types of threats, and some of them are more annoying than others. Like the ghouls, I know they're just gonna like run through a room. They're gonna get people to like drop health really fast, and radiation and shit and whatever. But the ghouls die really fast too. It's just they do a huge amount of damage on your people in a very short time. Yeah. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.